I wanted to update you on a fitness tracking ring that you've probably seen me wearing over the past few months called the Ultrahuman Ring Air. I've had this for about 3 months now, and while I was initially skeptical about how useful a tracker this small would be, I've been impressed so far with the results. Before I go into the technical monitoring on this tracker, I first wanted to talk about my overall experiences with the Ring Air. I chose to wear this on my right middle finger where it wouldn't get in the way as much with daily activities. And I found that because it's so small and light that after a few weeks I can hardly even tell I'm wearing this ring. I've always been interested in tracking my activity, but sometimes I have a hard time wearing the larger, bulky fitness watches. I've tried several styles, smaller fitness trackers, and this larger, full-featured watch tracker like this Tick watch here. And while I love the features on these watches, sometimes I have a hard time wearing them. They're uncomfortable, so sometimes I'll take them off. It's difficult to sleep with a watch on. So for me, these work good for exercise tracking. But with these, I think you can lose out on overall activity monitoring, especially the sleep monitoring, which is where I think the Ring Air excels at. This is mostly because this ring is just so tiny, lightweight. It has a very long battery life. You can wear this all day, even during sleeping, to monitor your activity throughout the entire day. As far as the specs and the sizing goes with the Ring Air, I had no idea what size my ring was when I got this thing. However, Human Air sends out a full sizer box. This is going to have a full range of plastic rings that are the exact same size as the actual ring, including this little sensor bump out, so you know you're getting a good fit before purchase. I also send you a little color chart. The Ring Air comes in 5 color patterns. I chose this matte gray silver color here called Raw Titanium. Trying to get a good close-up view here. I've had this for about 3 months. I think I've beat it up pretty good. It is showing a little bit of signs and wear, some scratches, but overall not that bad for what I've put it through. As far as the weight on the Ring Air goes, this is actually one of the most impressive aspects of this ring for me. It feels like it weighs almost nothing. I can hardly even get it to register on my scale. This thing comes in around 2.4 grams, which is something like 0.085 ounces, which is barely noticeable when you wear it. The final spec that I'll mention on the Ring Air is battery life. Nothing would be worse than having to charge a tracker every single day. So I'm happy to report the Ring Air lasts as long as it's advertised, which is about 6 days on a full charge, allowing you to wear it almost 24/7 for the entire week without charging it. You do have to use their small charging dock, USB-C, for powering the ring. It's going to take about 2 to 3 hours to fully charge the ring from zero, but instead of taking it off for that long once a week, I found it's easier to just throw it in the charger 20-30 minutes every couple days to keep it consistently almost fully charged. So now that I've covered the specs, I want to talk about some of the activity tracking features on the Ring Air, how I've been using them, and some of the advantages of using a tracking ring when compared to a fitness watch. The Ring Air collects a surprisingly large amount of data on your daily activity, considering the electronic components are so ridiculously small. The main things that the ring is tracking is sleep, heart rate variability, movement, and body temperature. It uses this data to develop some nice health metrics for daily movement, daily stress levels and rhythm, sleep scores, and the amount of time in different sleep cycles. I'll start out with the sleep function because I think this is one of the most important features on a ring that's designed to be worn 24/7. By tracking your heart rate, movement, body temperature, the Ring Air tracks your sleep, including overall sleep, your time in bed. It tracks your sleep stages, how much time you are in REM, light, and deep sleep stages. All of this is available in the app where you get a summary on the top. It has individual breakdowns of each category for each day, a graph of your sleep pattern throughout the night, your minimum heart rate, and heart rate variability. You don't necessarily need to do anything with this data every single day. However, I think the power in collecting all this information is so you can notice trends over time. For example, it gives you a score for several factors affecting the quality of your sleep, like efficiency or the ability to get to sleep quickly, consistency, which means going to sleep at the same time every day, and how well your sleep is matching with your circadian rhythm. So over time, you're able to tell which areas that you're doing good in and other areas where you might be lacking that could be affecting you getting a good night's sleep. For example, if you have consistently low sleep efficiency, that you know you need to focus on lowering your activity levels before bed and getting into a more relaxed state before you go to sleep. The next important thing the Ring Air tracks is movement. Like a lot of trackers, it tracks steps, the number of minutes of activity throughout the day, it estimates your calories, tracks workouts, and it has a function similar to the Apple Watch where you can set goals and track your progress across multiple categories. The step tracking function is of particular interest to me because that's one of the metrics that I usually like to track. To test the Ring Air tracker, I compared it to larger fitness tracking watches, including the Apple Watch and my TicWatch. The Ring Air does a great job tracking activity and movement. However, I was consistently getting lower step estimates than I was with the fitness tracking watches. For example, I tracked the movement on both devices on a day when I went for a 3-mile hike. The Ring Air caught the movement, but the step estimate was just under 10,000 steps for the day, while the TicWatch and the Apple Watch were both closer to 15,000. The final tracking category that I'll mention is stress rhythm, which I think is an important metric for monitoring long-term health trends. Similar to the sleep tracking, this monitors your heart rate, activity levels, it compares them to your daily circadian rhythm, and it tracks stress levels in several categories, including being stressed, stimulated, relaxed, and active. I think this is interesting because it lets you track overall stress levels throughout the day in different stages of activity. For example, a high amount of stress levels at a time of day where you should be more relaxed, like in the afternoon or early evening, can indicate that you need to do a better job maybe cutting caffeine or relaxing in the evening, which can then help you transition to a better sleep. So overall, I've been very impressed with the Ring Air so far. It's incredibly small, lightweight, and it tracks a surprisingly large amount of data for such a tiny device with an almost week-long battery life. My favorite feature on the Ring Air is the sleep monitoring. I think this has a huge advantage over those bulky fitness watches because this thing is tiny and it's designed and really easy to wear 24 hours a day, which includes the entire night of sleep. The movement scores are helpful for overall activity monitoring. It does a good job tracking movement. However, the step estimates, I think, come out a little low when compared to other trackers. For me, the best use of this ring is if you want a more comprehensive 24/7 heart rate, movement, and sleep monitoring on a tiny device that's much easier to wear than larger, bulky fitness watches. I hope you enjoyed this review on the Ultrahuman Ring Air. If you found this useful, please use the link in the description below for 10% off the Ring Air. Let me know also if you have any questions below. And again, thanks for watching.